In the year 2026, a dark veil was lifted from the eyes of the global public when the United States Department of Justice released a staggering archive of evidence. 3 million pages of documents, over 1,000 images, and more than 2,000 videos. This collection, known as the Epstein files, serves as a haunting testament to the depravity that exists at the highest echelons of global power. For years, survivors and activists have whispered about the horrors occurring on private islands and in high-security mansions. And now, the voices of victims, some as young as 14, 16, or 17, are being heard in a way that can no longer be ignored. Jeffrey Epstein was a man who strategically positioned himself as a friend to the most influential people on Earth. He was not just a criminal, he was an architect of a system designed to exploit the innocent for the pleasure of the elite. The files reveal a network of names that shake the foundation of modern society. Figures like Prince Andrew and former President Bill Clinton have long been associated with this name, but the 2026 release brings forth information that implicates modern icons such as Elon Musk, Bill Gates, and even mentions revolving around the orbits of Donald Trump and Mark Zuckerberg. While some of these individuals claimed they were unaware of Epstein's true nature, the digital footprints left behind in these 3 million pages tell a far more sinister story of collusion and participation. The depravity described in these files transcend typical criminal behavior. There are allegations that within the hidden chambers of Epstein's island, specifically near the structure known as the Blue and White Temple, rituals were performed that defy human morality. The files contain references to what can only be described as satanic practices involving the worship of ancient entities like Baal and Moloch. Most disturbingly, the documents provide evidence of Pizzagate being more than just a theory. Investigators found a code dictionary used by the elite to communicate their horrific desires without detection. Terms like cheese pizza were used as shorthand for the exploitation of children. The files suggest that these powerful men did not just abuse children, they treated them as commodities, participating in grotesque banquets where the most vulnerable members of society, children as young as 14, were subjected to unimaginable cruelty, with some even alleging that these children were sacrificed or consumed in rituals designed to exert power and show allegiance to a dark, elitist cult. Elon Musk, a man worshipped by millions as a visionary of the future, is shown in these files to have had a much closer relationship with Epstein than he ever admitted. Despite his 2019 claims that he refused to visit the island, emails from late 2012 show Musk inquiring about the wildest party days and planning visits with his then-wife. The files suggest that Musk was looking to let loose in an environment where no laws applied. Similarly, Bill Gates, often portrayed as a global savior through his philanthropic efforts, is heavily implicated. Draft emails suggest that Epstein held leverage over Gates regarding personal health matters and illicit affairs. More chillingly, the documents reveal that as early as 2011, Gates and Epstein were simulating global respiratory pandemics, viewing a worldwide health crisis not as a tragedy, but as a reset to expand their influence and control over the global population. The involvement of the political elite is equally staggering. Donald Trump, whose name appears in various contexts within the broader Epstein network, is part of a circle that frequently interacted with this underworld. The files detail how these men used their status to ensure that the victims, who were often trafficked from impoverished backgrounds, had no means of escape or justice. Mark Zuckerberg and other tech moguls are mentioned in the context of the infrastructure used to move money and hide digital footprints. The files suggest that Bitcoin, rather than being a purely financial innovation, may have been utilized or even partially influenced by Epstein's network as a tool for invisible transactions to pay for these horrific crimes and facilitate blackmail on a global scale. Inside the Moloch Church on Epstein's Island, architectural maps reveal soundproof underground chambers. Documents suggest that high-profile visitors, including media moguls and world leaders, would gather here. These were not mere business meetings, they were gatherings of a satanic elite who believed they were above the laws of God and man. The files mention the discovery of fabrics resembling the sacred kiswa of the Kaaba, suggesting a deliberate attempt by Epstein to mock and desecrate religious symbols of the Muslim world as part of his occult collection. This level of psychological and spiritual warfare shows that the network's goal was the total degradation of human dignity. Despite the millions of pages and the overwhelming evidence of children being abused, trafficked, and subjected to ritualistic torture, the current legal response remains alarmingly stagnant. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche has stated that there is nothing in the files that allows for the prosecution of these individuals, a statement that has left survivors in a state of despair. These victims, who have lived through the horror of being used by presidents, kings, and billionaires, are now watching as the system protects its own. The files expose that the international belief in these leaders is a facade. Behind every great fortune and every powerful seat, there is a trail of blood and the cries of the innocent. As these filth-ridden details come to light, it serves as a warning. We live in a time where wealth is equated with goodness, but the Epstein files prove that the most respected men in the world were participating in the most disgusting acts imaginable. From ritualistic abuse to the potential consumption of the innocent in high society cult rituals, the depravity knows no bounds. If the legal systems of this world failed to provide justice, then it becomes the responsibility of every person to wake up and see the world for what it really is, a place moving towards a dark destiny under the guidance of men who have sold their souls. The 2026 release is not just a collection of documents, it is a mirror reflecting the darkness of the global elite.